Your brain is hiding something from you. Seriously, ask me why. Because it literally lets you choose what to think about, but for some reason, it doesn't always let you choose what to stop thinking about. And until you understand why, you're pretty much going to keep fighting a battle you were never supposed to win. Think about it. Right now, you could decide to think about your favorite movie, your favorite meal, or the best vacation you've ever had. Then, a few seconds later, you could move on to something completely different without even trying. So here's what doesn't make sense. Why can't you do the opposite? Why can you choose what to think about, but not always what to stop thinking about? If you've ever laid in bed trying to fall asleep, you probably already know exactly what I'm talking about. Out of nowhere, your brain decides to remind you of that awkward thing you did years ago, or that text you wish you never sent, or that conversation you keep replaying for absolutely no reason. And you're just sitting there like, seriously? Why am I thinking about this right now? You weren't thinking about it all day. Nothing reminded you of it. It just showed up. Then you tell yourself, okay, that's enough. I'm done thinking about this. 5 minutes later, it's back. You distract yourself. It comes back. At this point, it almost feels like your brain is trolling you. But here's the weird part. It isn't. Your brain isn't trying to embarrass you, annoy you, or destroy your sleep. It's actually trying to follow your instructions, just in the most frustrating way possible. Here's what happens. The moment you tell yourself, I need to stop thinking about this, your brain is given 2 jobs. The first job is to push the thought away, but the second job is to keep checking whether the thought is gone. And how does your brain check whether you've stopped thinking about something? By looking for it. That means every few moments, part of your mind quietly asks, are we still thinking about that embarrassing conversation? And the second it checks, the thought is back. It's like hiring a security guard to make sure a person never enters the building, but the guard keeps staring at that person's photograph all night just to remember who they're supposed to stop. That's why forcing a thought away can sometimes make it feel louder. The harder you fight it, the more important your brain assumes it must be. So what are you supposed to do? Surprisingly, you stop wrestling with it. Instead of saying, I must not think about this, try saying, oh, that thought is here again. That's it. You don't argue with it. You don't investigate it. And you don't treat it like an emergency. You notice it, allow it to exist for a moment, and gently return your attention to whatever you were doing. Because accepting that a thought appeared doesn't mean you agree with it. It doesn't mean it matters. And it definitely doesn't mean you have to solve it at 2 in the morning. A thought is not an instruction. It's not a prediction. And it's not always a hidden message from your subconscious. Sometimes, it's simply a thought passing through. The goal isn't to control every thought that enters your mind. The goal is to stop giving every unwanted thought a reason to stay. Because the moment you stop fighting to make it disappear, it finally has permission to leave. But that doesn't mean every thought will leave immediately. Some thoughts pass quietly. Others keep finding their way back, especially the ones connected to mistakes, embarrassment, rejection, or regret. And that brings us to something else your brain does. You can do 10 things right and still go to bed thinking about the one thing that felt wrong. One awkward moment, one mistake, one embarrassing memory, one comment that didn't sit right. And somehow, that becomes the only thing your brain wants to talk about. Why? Because your mind has something called a negativity bias. It naturally pays more attention to what feels threatening, embarrassing, painful, or unsafe than what feels calm, good, or ordinary. So even if your day was mostly fine, your brain can still zoom in on the one thing that felt bad and treat it like it matters the most. But here's the part people don't always talk about. Some people have it way harder than others. For some people, a bad thought shows up and eventually passes. For others, it doesn't. It sticks. They think about it again the next day, and the next day, and sometimes for days, weeks, months, or even years. And that's why just stop thinking about it is not always helpful. Because the moment you try to force a thought out of your head, you can accidentally turn it into a cycle. You resist it. You check if it's gone. You distract yourself. It comes back. You try harder. It comes back louder. And for some people, especially people dealing with OCD or obsessive thought patterns, that loop can become exhausting. It's not just overthinking. It can feel like your brain won't let go. So what do you do? First, stop treating every unwanted thought like an emergency. A thought showing up does not automatically mean it's important. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it defines you. And it doesn't mean you have to solve it right now. Sometimes the goal is not to force the thought away. Sometimes the goal is to notice it, let it be there, and stop feeding it with fear, checking, or resistance. And if one bad moment is drowning out 10 good ones, remind yourself of the full picture. Because healing is not pretending the bad thing didn't happen. It's refusing to let one thought become the entire story of your mind.